Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching the world. Saturday, March 2nd, and a beatdown. A beatdown by Wrexham, a return to form, a purging of what ailed us, a beautiful game of football, or at least the first half anyway, and you take it any way you can get it. Welcome to the After 90 Minutes, the post-match call-in where... man, the highs and the lows, the roller coaster of being a football fan, where you end up having amnesia every single Saturday, and your team goes from looking like absolute garbage, and you're asking the questions of what do we got and what's going on and who are we and why are we playing the way that we are, and then you flip the switch, and like that was about as good a performance as I've seen in that first half. Every single player that was on the pitch contributing to that win. Obviously, 3 goals and an assist for Mullen. Ollie with the possession, the control. Ogonko gets a clean sheet. Max looks like an absolute beast. It was just delicious tidbits everywhere, cannon all over. Lee gets himself a goal. What do you criticize? What do you say? Macca working his tail off up front, whether that's the Four Walls whiskey, whether that's something else. So welcome. Look, I sent the links out to everybody to end up streaming, but I'm not sure that they got them out. It sounded like there was a bit of a hitch step. I also know that Baz and Matt were at the game, so they're making their way out there. So we've got time before everybody to join. There is a link. If you're here with me, there's 2 sources to find the link. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll find it below the description. If you're watching on X, bring up the racecourse. There should be a pinned message, and you should be able to find the link to join us under the pinned message at the Red Horde. So at the Red Horde, the pinned message, and you should be able to find it. It should be in the description. And maybe what I should do is just go and grab it and post it up here anyway, somewhere, so that you guys get an opportunity to come in and join us. That's what we want. As much as we're talking to everybody, I'd like this to be like a 606 where everybody comes in and says their thing. So do that. And I'm going to take the opportunity to go and grab the link, if I can, from where I'm at. I can go here to do it. I will pull it from the messages that I sent out to these guys. This should be it. And so by all means, and I have to go into my YouTube then to be able to send it to you guys. So stay with me while I'm doing that, and we set everything up. Look, I don't know what you want to talk about in this one. I'm not able to sit here and describe what ended up happening, because you ended up with a completely different team that showed up. The formation didn't change. The personnel had some minor changes. Palmer gets his first start since November 28th against Harrogate. Was he solely the difference here? I think he was a big part of it. I think that his ability to, free up the ball, especially with his size, both balls that he held guys off so that people could run onto, or he was able to maintain possession, was certainly there. But John says it wasn't garbage. I think we were garbage. I know that that might be a little bit assertive, but I think that we just weren't playing well by any stretch. So I'm going to post the link here so that it all comes up. By all means, jump on, have a chat, and we'll figure it as we've got. Are my messages not able to go through? Oh, it's because I posted the link under my YouTube and not under the Red Hordes, and so it banned it. I'm banning myself as I'm trying to desperately get you guys into the equation here. All right, John disagrees with me, so I'm curious what everybody else thought. Look, we after the Stockport County beatdown when it was 5-0, we played exceptionally well, building through the midfield. We were able to connect through the final thirds, and we were in control all the way through. We had a couple of slip-ups over that stretch, most notably the Walsall game, where we were dealing with some illnesses that stood out to me. And then after the calendar changed over, sort of a decline and a step down as to our ability up front. And really it was not just the touches in the final third. We started doing a hoofball thing all the way through the month of January. The problem in February was that whole month, our touch in the final third, we were great. The link should be working. You'll have to tell me if you're not able to get into it. I've got to go here. I'm just going to focus on this and get this out so that I can confirm it's working, because they were complaining that there was a problem with it too, and I don't understand what that problem would be. I've posted the link here, and it should pop up. That should be the link. And if you're able to get into it from there, then by all means, click that link. And I'm going to bring it up on my other browser and see what it does, because it should bring you straight into it, because it'd be a lot better rather than hearing me. And yeah, it seems to be working. You'll have to let me know, Cryptic, if you're able to get to it. And I've got Deandra, somebody new. Yay. So you can only hear me. You give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and we're good to go. So Deandra, welcome, and thank you for doing that and joining us. How are you?
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, you're in. I've brought you in. You're live and in charge. And so say hi to everybody. It's going to take a little bit of time to show up on the latency if you're watching on YouTube. It's going to take some time before it shows up there, but you are live. And so Deandra, tell us about you. Obviously, I know who you are by name and name alone. So tell us your backstory and how you became a Wrexham fan, and then we can talk about the match.
Okay, so I live in Aruba, and I became a fan, obviously, because of the documentary. I was so intrigued by it because I just didn't believe it at first that Ryan and Rob had bought a football team, because it seemed insane. And so I just kept Googling and learning about Wrexham, and I just started, following the game by week, just on social media. And then around the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I really got into it. I was actually following the game on, the videos, etc. And yeah, I was hooked.
Yeah, and I get that. Did you stream? Were you able to stream? Because that's about the time.
No, I couldn't figure out how the Vanarama streaming thing worked.
Okay.
I relied on Liam Roberts' post-match illegal, apparently, live streams or recaps.
The vlogs, yeah.
Yes. And then when we went up, then I learned how to do the streaming. We promptly lost, of course, to MK Dons, and I thought I was giving bad luck to the team, so I didn't stream again until like 6 weeks after that I dared again to do it. But anyway.
Awesome. So you're streaming. You saw that one live. You had your chat. So why don't you give your summary? You've heard me waxing poetic about my thoughts on it for a while. So go ahead and tell us, what did you see?
I saw a team completely different, as we all saw from other games. I keep on being baffled by the change from home games to away games. At some point, I have to ask if there's a psychologist on the team, because the difference is just too radical to ignore it, to just like, okay, we'll just get them next time. But for this game, I have almost no notes. McLean was perfect. Clearworth, flawless in my opinion. Of course, man of the match Mullen. Ollie had a huge impact, as we all knew he would. The only little note is me nitpicking is that Boyle had a couple of mistakes, which gives you the heart palpitations, because we all know his track record. But other than that, my hat's off to Okonkwo for a clean sheet. Indeed, he didn't have that much to do, but it's still a clean sheet, people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I took away from this game, and I hope it repeats itself every single game from now forward. But we are Wrexham, so.
Well, and that's the problem of being the fan, right? Is we're sitting here with smiles on our faces, but you hit the nail on the head, I think, when you said, is there a sports psychologist and how do we bring them in? Because if we're talking consistency now.
Exactly.
I think the link is working. Well, I know it's working because, Deandra, just to confirm, you clicked the link on the bottom of the description.
My apologies. I clicked the link that you posted in the chat. If that's the same one, then...
No, you did it right, as long as you got in, because you showed me that a link was working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the link that I sent I'm going to lead it to you, and then I'm going to turn sideways. We were talking about the psychologist circumstance.
Yes.
And so how do you think we end up finding consistency? I will admit that's a difficult question. I don't have answers for it, but I'll leave you with that as I try,
of course,
to fix the description here. So go ahead.
Yeah. I think that, first of all, I think we have to try to concentrate to repeat the same players, so that they may get more used to each other and not have to, the breakups it's Fletcher with Dalby with Mullen with Fletcher, but just keep trying to have consistency in the lineup every game, and genuinely address what is happening with away games. And whatever the players need to do, if they need to have meditation, or they need to, stream in cheers from the race course of Games Pass, so they get that pumped up feeling that they're home, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But that's what I think that's the biggest thing to address. And if we are able to address it, we're golden. And I think we do need to address it, because I saw the stat that we were number 1 of the league in home games and like number 12 or number 15 or so of away games. And that gap is just, fellas, we need to discuss it. Because I don't think there is another team that has that big of a disparity in their form between home and away games.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and the biggest thing is I think we're at 16 goals in 18 games, and that's a problem. I'll just confirm it is an issue with the link, and the funny thing is every time I go to change it, it says you can't change it because you have problems elsewhere in your stream.
Okay. Would you like me to leave the?
No, I don't. Okay. I'll keep you here because it's working, and I think I've got the link there. So Cryptic, it should just be updated now. And so for those of you, the stream that's in the chat that you can click on to link and join, do that. I'm going to bring Josh in momentarily, and maybe he has a question from you, Deandra, before you leave. So Josh from the Local Pundit, or it is Sheldon, and I see it's covered up. So maybe I'll wait a little bit as I see a finger scrolling through. Sheldon, are you ready? I got both of them there. So let's add Sheldon and Josh from the Local Pundit. You guys, I don't know if you guys were together doing your own watch party today, or whether you were separate and apart and Sheldon was watching and just joined in. But either one of you, let's maybe go to Josh first, because Sheldon, you were here the last time. Josh, tell us what the hell and who are we? And what do we do with today's info?
Oh, what do we do with today's? Yeah, we did a show. We were able to link up to do a show today. What are we? Listen, we won 4-0. Mulls was fantastic. I was just listening to Deandra earlier today. The first half, no notes, amazing. We really came out to play. I'd said this was the game. It's like, the Michael Jordan game where we got to go like pick something, like which was Andy Holt, get on it, and let's go out and kick ass today. Second half, we obviously sat back a bit. Which is, and Parkinson. My only note would be that should have made subs a little earlier to get some people off. No reason for Malls to play what is it, 75, 80 minutes like that. But that was a win, and I hope that turns us around. And what are we? We're in third, and that's kind of all that really matters today to me. And it's a great first half performance. So it was fun stuff, man.
We're looking for a way to make this the consistent go forward here for the next 11 games. And that'll be the challenge, because seeing what we saw today was almost error-free. I don't know, Sheldon, did you have any thoughts other than, holy crap, that was epic?
Well, I want to steal a quote. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That first half was excellent. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it was very good. And where we want to be. The second half was terrible.
Yeah. We were still able to nick the odd possession away. There was certainly no pressure up front anymore. I wasn't completely off, because really what the only chance that I recall them really having, well, they had two. They had one was the sky ball at the end, where they danced through, and it was Adekoya, I believe, who ended up pushing it forward. And the only other one that I recall is that shot from distance that Ogonko had to go to the left. And those were my two. And so I don't know, Sheldon, I'll jump it to you. What were your criticisms? You said not perfect. To me, I only had two minor things in the first half, but I'm curious what you saw in the first half as to potential issues. And then in the second half, and then we can talk about the goals and go through all the magic that happened. But Sheldon, go ahead.
Mullen should have passed off the ball. and would have been another easy goal for McLean, running up from behind. Okay, he's playing well. He had his hat trick, and it was a potential goal-scoring position. So it's not a ridiculous shot to take, but he had an easy layoff, and he already had 3. So other than that, I don't really fault the first half.
Yeah, for me, the first half, the only thing that was, and I attribute it to rust, is Palmer had 2 shots there early before everything went in and started falling for us. And the first one, I don't criticize his. I think he was trying to place it. It was close to goal, I think he was trying to place it, and so it didn't have a lot of thump on it, and he misplaced it, and so it was just an easy catch for the keeper. The second one, though, was that layoff early on that Mullen passed it back to Palmer. Would have been, I think, 13th, 15th minute. It was certainly early in the game, and it was just calling for Palmer to put his foot through it, and I think he tried, and he didn't really get there. So I just see Josh is just bouncing out to go and do that. The links should work. Cryptic, you'll have to let me know if you're still there. I should double check the link through Twitter, but it should be there for everybody to join now. If you're joining in as a guest, under the description on my channel, I have to go and check X now to make sure I had the right one. I must have sent out the wrong links, which would be frustrating, and that's maybe why some people aren't streaming it out there.
Yeah, but I couldn't use your link. I had to manually go into the browser and enter the whole address, which was correct, to go in kind of manually. The link did not go through.
Interesting. Never had that problem before, so we'll have to Monday morning quarterback that one afterwards and figure out what happened. Josh, are you back? So bring back Josh.
Yeah.
Let's chat about the goals just really quickly. Why don't I've kind of gone through most of my assessment. You guys just did it live, but why don't you let us know what you guys saw with those ones? And while you're doing that, I'm going to try and fix my thing over here to see if we can draw in some more people.
Yeah, I got you. I was trying to do it myself here too, but I'll take. So on that note, the goals. Listen, the goals are fantastic. The last one, the last goal, they played triangles. Mullen, coming out of nowhere with his header, fantastic, long distance, 35-yard goal. I mean, it's not that there's that's what we want to see. You know what I mean? And I'm stoked over it. I can't. Those, all the goals were different. You know what I mean? So it's they came from different. I know there's a hat trick, but they came out of different things. They had a great cross by Barnett, fantastic. I
was impressed by the hustle by McLean. That caused, I believe, the second or third goal.
The long cross that he fired in and found Mullen on that side. Yeah, that's the one you're talking about.
That showed hustle that I've also been missing, in my opinion, from the other games. I was happy to see it again. And I hope to see it on away grounds and not just on the race course.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The one that I was really impressed with too, as far as other play that was going around, and I talked about it during our watch party, was Max seemed to be coming forward more than he normally does, and deeper up front. And on that first goal, sorry.
And he was effective too.
Yes, very. And that first goal or the one that Barney served over top of him, that was Max getting in there, challenging everybody at the 18-yard box. He had both defenders there, laid it back to Barney, who had all the time in the world to be able to put it onto Mullen's head. And so I was really impressed with that one. And I did find out it is the wrong links. So that's why everybody's been struggling to connect.
And that's live TV. It's all good, right? It happens. By the way, Aaron makes a good point there, and I think Shell talked about it on the show. It's great to see us pressing up front. I thought Macca in the hole there, pressing and turning the ball over. It was very, very positive. What we want to see on that. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
I was wondering what you guys thought about the ref, about his performance today, or about the referee team as a whole.
I'm glad it was a 4-0 game. Sheldon, Josh, go ahead, take that one.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
I was just going to say, I'm glad it was a 4-0 game. Did it really turn on anything? No, but there were too many calls where somebody would take the post flop afterwards, where they made the initial contact that I think caused the foul, and then he would go the other way. And to be fair, I think he did that twice to us, once to them. Yeah. I don't fault him for the McLean yellow, and that one's frustrating. We've got two games before we get to the 37 cutoff,
and he's on 9.
And he's on 9.
Yeah.
Totally
So-
pointless for him to get that. Pointless.
So it was
Exactly.
that's if there's a frustration that comes out of the game, that's the one for me, because he's pretty much lined himself up. It's going to be, he's got to play a different game or he's going to eat a 2-game suspension.
Yeah. And he's playing really well, and the headband didn't help. Apparently, it didn't keep his head on straight. But I'll I know past the show real quick. I thought honestly the ref was totally inconsistent. Could have got guys hurt today, especially with Cannon going in. Yes, he gave the red card, but he should have given out a couple of yellow cards in the first half. And he could have lost the game. Like if we got another goal, there could have been a little more happening there. But I thought the ref was completely consistent.
Yeah, we spoke about that at halftime. Excuse me,
Yep.
my sore throat. And I said that he didn't give any yellow cards, and if it continues the same way in the second half, one of our players could get injured, because they can very easily go in with heavier and heavier tackles, especially if anyone wants to make a point that they've already lost the match. What difference does it make to them if they go through a player and take a yellow card just to make a point? Because obviously the aggro between the clubs. And as soon as we came back to the second half, a yellow card was shown within 2 minutes, I think, 2.5 minutes or something. First yellow was out in the second half. One yellow in the first half might have calmed things out a little bit. But in the end, he didn't do anything terrible. He wasn't an amazing referee. He was letting a little bit too much happen. But yeah, he didn't destroy one side over the other. I don't think he ruined the game in any way. So it wasn't really a massive factor.
Yeah,
Could have got Cannon hurt though. Could have got Cannon hurt.
Yeah, of
We were
course.
this close. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, I believe that's Jamie, or I don't know if it's Ram, but anyway, they're I know that they were recording. They sent me a message and said they're planning to look to join us too as we continue to add to the mob. And I've got somebody else, Hugh, has joined in, so I'm going to go ahead and grab him. Deandra, why don't we give you any parting shots? We've got we've got the women's game tomorrow, the FAW semifinal. There's Mansfield gets their makeup game on Tuesday, and then we're back at it. And I haven't even looked that far ahead as to who we've got, because I've just been so excited about this one. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't know who we've got.
Morecambe, or am I insane?
It could be Morecambe. Your guess is as good as mine as to who we are.
Google tells me Morecambe on Saturday at Morecambe. So
there we go. And so whether you can choose what do you think we're doing moving forward, and who do you hire as your sports psychologist? No.
Bring in Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola. No, I think I assume, but I'm not Parky. We'll keep more or less the same formation, and I think definitely Palmer earned his spot today, so I will expect to see Palmer back on Morecambe.
Yeah, and we were all Shrimp fans today. Deandra, thank you so much for ripping the
Hi,
Band-Aid
guys.
off, coming to join us. Do it in the future.
Yes.
Do your thing. Yeah, it's a pleasure. We've got Hugh in the
Of course.
background, so Deandra, I'll sub you out. Thank you so much.
Good to meet you, Deandra.
And then we've got Hugh sitting here. I'm just looking at things. EFL matches to Morecambe. We were all Shrimp fans today, right?
We got some. That's that is an unbelievable result. Honestly,
Right?
A real unbelievable result.
Unbelievable
this-
result.
This is working well. It's up on. I guess it's on X. Just FYI, that is working.
Yeah, so it's up on X. I
Yep.
added the link on X underneath the link that it's running to. I put it in the description. That's on me. I will be more attentive in the future. And Hugh, I'm going to grab you and bring you in here.
This is working well. It's up on.
Hugh, how are you? You were taking that one and soaking that one in. Let us know your thoughts. What did you think of the game? What stood out for you? Yeah, and also tell us. I believe I know that you're a longstanding fan, but maybe I'm wrong. When did you come to fall in love with Wrexham? And what's your origination story?
Okay.
Hugh, how are you? You were taking that one and soaking that one in.
I think he's on.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was only listening.
And Hugh, you're going to get this on delay because you're watching and it's going to have the latency. So it's probably better just to mute what's on your TV or what's on your computer screen and then
There's a
chat
bit
away.
of a lag here, but I started watching Wrexham. I was only listening. I started watching Wrexham.
Because you're watching and it's going to have the latency, so it's probably better just to mute what's on your TV and what's on your computer screen and then
There's a
chat
bit of
away.
a lag here, but I
Yeah,
started
go ahead and hit
watching
mute there.
Wrexham. in 1969. I started watching Wrexham.
And we've got it. You're now muted, so now you can probably hear me, but not on the screen. So let's do that, and we'll see if we've got you. If not, I'll send you a message in the private chat, and we'll get you cleared up, and then we'll bring you back in. But if you can hear me, you started watching in 69, so go ahead. No, don't apologize at all.
Am I live now? Because it was all over the place. Oh, so that's better. I switched it off.
There you go. That's
yeah. I started watching Wrexham in 1969. I started watching Wrexham in 1969, and my father took me, and I went to an autumn match. I think we played Port Vale, drew 1 each. But anyway, I've been following you on the Red Horde recently. Yeah, I don't normally watch the match. I listen. I just like the commentary. I'm used to listening, over the years, and I haven't been going to many games. It's quite difficult to get a ticket nowadays, although I'm quite local. But I just don't remember very often to get online at the right time. I don't know, but I do pay about $5 a month, and therefore I can watch the matches after, so I can review these things. But I think we played quite well against Forest Green, and although we could have scored more than one, but at least we tried hard. And I think they've suddenly got back at it today. They've just, and I'll tell you what I really like today. I don't want to go on too long, but I really like today is the fact that he's put Mendy at his normal position, his good position. He's a good player, he's strong, fast, and he's strong as well. And put McLean in the midfield, on the upper midfield as well. So I think that to have both of them on is good. And also Palmer probably is the best guy to go with Mullin, and that seems to have worked as well. So, and we tried the other two afterwards. So that's great. And we got, the winger, the winger, number 29. He's done pretty well as well today, and I'm some from the same village as John Davis, so I'd like to see him on, but we didn't need him today. But it would have been nice for him to come on, maybe got a goal or something. But that's for the future. But at least we've got full points today, and we're back into third. It's very strange. Sorry.
I was just going to say, stay on for a second, but I want to take what you just talked about and try to link it to something that Sheldon was talking about as far as.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm going on a bit there. Yeah.
Oh, no, not going on at all. This is what this is all for: is share and welcome and get your thoughts out there. It's not about us; it's about you guys getting a chance to do this and for us to get to know everybody. And so it's much appreciated. But you were talking about the subs in the second half and some of the players that came in. Marriott, I don't think had, another one where he came out and he was buzzing around, but not much there. But as far as, and I guess that's the question that I have is, could we have done something to try to pick things up in the second half? Because it looked like we were falling into a rut. And is this the Parky curse again? And I thought maybe, Sheldon, you might have some thoughts on that as to whether there was a change that you would have liked to have seen different than what came, if it was timing or personnel.
Well, obviously the substitutions were ridiculously late again. You had many reasons why you should do the substitutions early in this match. The game had been basically won. If they scored on us, it would not have likely been 4 goals. So there was no worry about losing the match. Yep. So you could have replaced players early simply to give people a rest. You could have changed players early to give people who don't play minutes. You could have put Marriott on earlier to try and get your new striker a goal. Yes. I believe that he changed tactics and told them to go more defensive in the second half. And obviously the other team, their manager is going to tell them, you have to attack. We've lost the match. No, we have to go for everything and leave ourselves open. We have to attack. So you're going to go defensive against a team who's going to go all-out attack. We gave them every bit of possession that was available, and the end of the match ended up 50-50 possession. It was absolutely terrible tactics. We were dominating the game. What we should have done is kept attacking exactly as we were, and try and get more goals.
And I'm with you there. We did have Davies on the bench, and so to go to Hugh, and maybe Sheldon, you can take this, or Josh can take this as well, was, I was hoping to get some of those guys in, because that starting 11 had momentum and had the wheels running, and so I was hoping that we could bring them in and carry the momentum, whether that was Davis, as Hugh was talking about, whether that's somebody else earlier on, or that could have come in. Did we miss out on the opportunity of bringing Davis in? And I don't think Bolton did Bolton come in for Barney or not?
He came out, late. Yeah. Did he? I thought he did.
I'm gonna have to look it up, because I didn't. I thought that I heard his name mentioned, but I don't recall actually seeing him on the pitch. And maybe that's a message as to how late the changes were, that they never had an opportunity to get their feet behind them.
That was one thing we were talking about too, and I'll kick it back around there too. Parkinson, just the stubborn way. There's no reason to keep Mulls on that long. He got his hat trick. It's good. Rest him. You know what I mean? There's no reason to do that. That is my only criticism of today. Like, we got to rest some people. Palmer could have got hurt at the end there at some point, but it's like, and Sheldon was just mentioning that. It's like, get some other guys on there, because we're going to need them. We're going to need this run in. We got 6 pointers coming up. He just things like that. You got to make those subs. And what is somebody coming on at 87 minutes in?
82nd minute, Luke did come in with Jack, and 88th minute, Young came in.
Yeah. And this, Ivan was talking about it on the show earlier, or on our show. He's like basically saying, you don't want JM to turn into like a Billy Waters 2.0. Get him a goal. Get his, the strike that he had went basically back to Accrington. Would have loved to see him get a goal, get that 5-0 up, get our goal diff up, make some changes. It is just, his late subbing is just insane to me. I don't understand it. I really
don't. At least reading the game, like, it's because it's so scheduled. To me, it's trying to figure it out. Hugh, I want to bounce back to you, and then we'll swap things out. Just to be clear, the link to join for the guests, I know Baz is clinking around looking for it, and trying to find it, and it is on the bottom of the description on my channel on YouTube. It's in X, and the link below, and where we're streaming from, and so it should be out there for people to view. I'll put it into the chat again, so go ahead and do that. People draw in and do this. Hugh, thank you for joining. To wrap things up, I'll leave it sort of in your hands on a go forward. 11 games left. What's the message? What do you think we need to do? Is this the magic lineup? Does it something different? What's your take? We've got control in 11 games. What do you think?
Well, whatever they did today was good, wasn't it? I mean, Accrington are fairly competitive. They're sort of just below the playoff zone. So, that was a good performance. I haven't seen it yet. Obviously, I'll be listening though. And, we've obviously done very, very well, especially the first half. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. We could have kept going and scored more. But I don't know. I think he thought we played. He probably tried to play on the break. And we did have a few chances. Tozer had a shot at the end in the sort of early of that second half and middle of the second half, and could have got a goal, and the goalkeeper picked up and stopped it. There were a few chances again, but winning the game is so important. I don't think we don't need to criticize Parky for this. Well, we won 4-0. You can't get any more points. We could have got more. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but he probably felt, well, let's make sure we don't concede now, because you will get a reaction in the second half from a team. If they're 4-0 down, their manager will say, "Oh, that was terrible. Come on," So you will get the first 10 minutes. You will get reaction from that, but we don't need to draw people onto us, do we? Like you're saying, but I can't say that much because I haven't seen the game, so I won't say any more. But yeah, but I'm not too bothered, but whatever we did today was a different atmosphere we created in the stadium, the goals we scored, the way we went about to score. I'd like to see it afterwards, later, tomorrow or Monday, and look at it. But, whatever we did today, we want to keep that going, and maybe try to recreate this when we go away, because the away form is so different from the home. We need to pick that up a bit. We can't afford we probably will drop some points at home, because we've got some difficult games later on. We need to put everything out in every game, so yeah, I think we need to bring this on to all the games going forward. What have we done today? And what I really like is Mullin and Palmer. I think that's the best combination at the moment. And also, I'm really glad that we've got both McLean, he's further up the field, and we've also got a very strong, fast player in Mendy on the left as well. And of course, Barney's good on the right. I think, those are important. I'd like to see John Davis come in, but I mean, maybe it will be when things are a bit, maybe at the end of the season, maybe we've done what we need to do. Maybe bring him on then. I don't know. Maybe that would be what would happen for him. But I like to see him on. But that's a great for a good result today and a good performance to see. So that's more than enough for the moment. So that's great.
I'm with you,
So I'm
Hugh.
hoping for that again next game.
Stay the course and march forward and take the successes and try to find some of that glory. We're in Morecambe, 9th place team next weekend, and then we got 2 back at home. After that, the season becomes weird. It's bottom table or
Top
6 pointers, and that's all that's left is bottom of the table or 6 pointers for the rest of the season. And so we'll do that. We've got somebody else who's joined us, so I'll go ahead and grab them and jump in. Hugh, thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to do it down the road and share your thoughts, and it's much appreciated. So well done for you for joining, and I thank you.
Hey, Hugh.
Yeah, nice to come on. Thanks very much. Bye now. All the best.
Bye.
Sure.
To the point when he goes back and watches the things that were different today with the goals, we weren't putting the long ball up like on the corner, like to the right side or the left side. Those balls were on the ground. That was kind of different today, and that's what gave us some opportunities, which was nice.
I thought that we've been looking to do that more often than not recently, although we did have that game of just to the corner cross, to the corner cross, to the corner cross in the final third. It was like we figured out how to not hoof ball during from the back. Now we're just doing crosses, and maybe that is part of it. Is you're right that they've started to connect more up front and had a dedicated focus. Leroy, I see that you're black, so I'm assuming you want to be audio only. I do recall the name, so I'm comfortable bringing you in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and see if you're there. So if the intention was for you to be audio or have your video and you just turned it off, but Leroy, are you there? Not quite, don't have you. So I'll just hit the pause button. There is a private chat when you join. For those that haven't joined yet and still want to, on X, on YouTube, down below, I've sent the link out. I have been chatting with Baz, who I've sent the link out to, and I'm hoping that he's able to join us too. And I've resent it.
I've reshared it. I put it in our Discord too, so people can get it out there too. And on
perfect. So that's on me, and I will try to make sure that doesn't happen again. I had a different little glitch before where there's a toggle, and if you turn the toggle to guest only, then you guys can't connect to restream it. So I double checked and made sure I didn't have that toggled, and somehow got the wrong link. I'm not certain how that happened, but I will Monday morning quarterback this. What can we talk about? Do we like a 4-0 win? I want to just talk about this forever, and I think we could almost go through the entire roster. Should I bring up? I usually when Matt's here, I bring up the FOT mob and we kind of go through things. But do I do that now and have that chat? Maybe before I do that, if you other than Mullen, if you had to pick somebody for a man of the match, who do you give it to and why?
Go ahead, Shell.
I think everyone was kind of on a nice high level today.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I don't know. I always enjoy McLean's play. I don't know if that's good enough for a man of the match. Same thing as well. I think AO played a really good match. But again, he didn't have enough to do. I think there's only the obvious option really in this. Lee played well, and obviously he got his nice goal as well. So Lee, but again, you're doing it for a change, like Kim says.
Yeah, and I get that. W&G, and W&G, we were saying somebody other than Mullen just because I think he's the win. Josh, did you have somebody different maybe out of that list?
Yeah, I think so. I thought O'Connell puts himself about really well. I thought Max had a great game. I thought McLean was great. All about 7.75s. Barney was good. For me, I would say it's hard to not put it on Macca, but I thought I'd go with O'Connell. Really steady, keeping that back line together. So I'm going to go with O'Connell. I thought it would have been Barney for me, but the second half kind of just I'm kind of putting that aside. But I think O'Connell played really well. Although he's still holding his injury. He came out 72 minutes in. That should have probably been about 60. So I'm going to go O'Connell.
Okay, EOC, I'm going with young Max. I mean, I was gobsmacked today. Like he's been solid throughout. Been a bit of a surprise. He got that opportunity to come in and he's grabbed it and stolen that job over on that right side. To me, I was impressed. But having him come forward. Remember, there was the goal. Was it the first goal or the second goal in our FA Cup game when we were eliminated in the fourth round? Cunningham scored it, I believe, was the name of the player coming forward for Blackburn. That was him getting caught up and getting a little bit lazy, being caught up and not coming back in time.
Was it Smaddox, whatever his name is?
Moldich didn't score that one. It was in that game where it was a forward. I think it was their second goal. But in any event, there were a couple times where when he did push forward, he got himself caught up, and so I was a little bit nervous. But he looked so solid up there and confident that it seemed to just be another level, like another growing potential source of trouble. And when you have somebody who's found that level of confidence, I was kind of excited about it. And he does well up there, not just with the pass to Barney and the taking on the two defenders. I do remember when the goal against Shrewsbury that we scored, if you go back and watch the highlights, because a lot of people miss it, it was him that was in the box way up front, and he was boxing out the defender from being able to go and block the shot. And so to me, he's picking up stuff away from the ball. If he can defensively address it, I think we're okay.
He uses his body really well. He did that today a few times. He uses his body really well for a kid of his age.
Yeah. Leroy, I see that you're still in there. If you do want to chat, just type in the private chat that's there that should be on the screen that says that you're good to go, and I'll grab you and pull you in here. I do have, I just got joined by Watching Wrexham. I don't know who that is, but I'm happy to join them. They're in the car. Is that Baz?
Baz?
It is.
It is Baz.
Yeah, it is. How are we doing?
Good. Sorry about the hiccup there with the link, but I'm glad you figured out a way to get here. You're coming back from the game?
Getting chauffeur driven today, which is very nice. By Mrs.
Thank you.
Thomas.
Shout out to the wife.
Yes. Did you enjoy the game, dear?
Oh, yes.
She loved it. Who says Wrexham are a second half team? They were pants in the second half, didn't score a single goal.
Didn't need to, for once. Right?
Did we enjoy the game, boys?
Oh man, the question has been, we enjoyed it, or I enjoyed it. I think it's pretty much consensus all the way through, but enjoyed it so much we're sitting there and wondering, how do we keep this as the standard on a go forward basis, and trying to figure out the magic and whatever voodoo we need to do to lock this.
I'm just hoping I may well have missed it. Have you already brought up the upfront pairings, the Mullin Palmer ratios? I think that's just got a few dividends paid today.
Yeah, I didn't bring up the chart or anything like that we were looking at before that was done, that looked at the stats that said that we're 6-1 now when I think it is. Is it 6-1? I've forgotten.
But those two, you could tell they really like each other. You could tell that Paul Mullen and Dad, you could tell they actually like playing with each other.
And Kim with the point, it hasn't been the forwards, but the entire team sucking. Not today. See, I don't think that was true in the last match or 2 matches ago. The last one was everybody sucked, but 2 ago it was the everybody seemed to be good. We just couldn't get anything up front. Today, whatever it was, we were cured. Baz, I see that you're frozen. Now you're back. So tell us where you were sitting. And tell us what you saw, and then feel free if you have any questions of stuff that you didn't see what happened and you're a little bit curious about it. Perhaps Sheldon, Josh, or I were able to pick it up on the TV.
Yeah.
Well, I managed to capture 3 of the 4 goals. One, I was making some match notes for the post-match analysis, but yeah, you know, two diving headers from Mullin, absolutely fantastic. The interplay between Mullin and Elliot Lee. I think Mullin give it to Lee give it back to Mullin, and then he just that, you know, Elliot Lee running into two players and getting a shot off across the keeper, completely out of his reach. That was just fantastic watching, edge of the seat stuff. And also Mullin also got his another goal, which I didn't quite see if it hit the top of the net but that we thought it went in. Yeah, that kind of got us off the edge of our seats.
Oh,
but,
Mullen's shot. Yeah, Mullen's shot. That was close. Yeah.
Yellow cards, red cards. I mean, to be fair, Barney tried pulling McLean away. Clearly, he was up for a confrontation, and two players edging him on. Well, for me, the player took McLean out and should have been given a card, but they were both egging him on, and you know, and he was giving the ref a bit of grief. So yeah, naturally, yellow card every day of the week.
I think we missed that on the show. Yeah. I think they kind of cut away from that. We got back in. It was a hairband standoff there. I think I didn't see it.
I missed what led up to it. I just knew that they were.
Yeah. I love McLean.
As McLean was going off as well, obviously the Welsh nationalists were piping up with a bit of McLean singing. So a little bit of controversy in Wrexham. Sort of 50-50 call, half monarchists and half Republicans, socialists, or whatever view you take on the matter. We won't get into the plot, but it was interesting that Liam, who's doing the Parky mural outside the turf. I went down the turf last night. It was a brilliant night for St. David's Day. I met the Patagonians who've been flown over by United Airlines. So did a brief interview with them. I'll put an interview up later in the week. Awesome. But we had a really good night. There was Welsh cakes. There was Welsh singing. My mate Neil was playing, and this beautiful trio. Some of the Welsh songs that were being sung last night, as they've captured, put a video out. A brilliant night in the surf last night. So full-on weekend of football this weekend.
It's all
was
been a
Rob
good
at the game? Yeah, that sounds like a great week. Was Rob at the game? They never showed him during the show. Sorry.
He was there. Also, there's a guy, an actor, a Welsh actor called Luke Evans, who's been in, I think he was in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. He's got quite a good voice. He's been in a few other things, actually. Was he in Les Miserables or something like that? But anyway, he was in Wrexham yesterday. I don't know if he was in the box. But yeah, these guys from Patagonia, which for those who don't know that are listening in, Patagonia is a part of Argentina where they have very strong Welsh links, and they speak Welsh there. So there's a guy, I met David, who in 2019, he was telling me, set up the Patagonia Reds group. Now, they're not an official fans group as yet, but I was talking to Pete Jones of the Wrexham Federation, Supporters Federation, and he's going to be looking to give them an official seal of approval, so they'll become an official fans group in South America, which I think is where Rob and Ryan want to take the fan base next level. There are already plans afoot to get into Brazil, which is, you know, Brazil absolutely love their football. So, yeah, they've come all the way over. They've been sponsored. United Airlines have flown them over. They got hosted, put up in a hotel, taken around town last night, and I think they were heading straight into the turf after the game today. So
right on.
Mark was talking about it at halftime as well. He brought that up on the halftime show. It was actually pretty cool. Yeah.
That was it. It's going to be one of those ones. I am happy. I'm grinning ear to ear. It's a completely different emotional experience after you go through some of the stuff that we've had for the last little bit. And I want more of it, and I'm hungry for it with 11 games left. I don't know if you knew or have looked at the scoreboard since Baz, but Morecambe helped us out and took out Crew and took points from them.
Yes. League program 2 points clear, yeah.
Yeah, the Wombles helped out and beat the Dons.
That was good.
Which is good news. Even if despite the standings, it's good news when the Wombles take out the Dons. And then the Stockport
have fixture congestion to contend with.
Yeah.
So It's there, and Mansfield's got their game in hand that they'll play on Tuesday. So there's lots of happening sort of in the next little bit here. But for me, it's march on and figure out how to carry this forward. And that's
all I can say is Parky out. Parky out. Third in the league. What's that all about? We should be top.
Yeah, his sub's gotta be.
Did the fans sing Parky make a change today?
Yeah, but was it 69 minutes or something like that? I think
68 and a half is when the subs came in. Yeah,
made the first 2 subs. I actually thought McLean was going to come off, and they might have put Bolton in the middle, but because I think he plays centre mid. But yeah, I was surprised when Barnett come off. For me, I wasn't surprised that Owen O'Connell was taken off, because I think he was struggling with Atatoyo, is it? Adatoyo, I forgot his name.
The came in
25.
56 or 25.
Yeah, I think he'd beaten Owen O'Connell a couple of times, so that was quite a bold move, really, bringing Tozer on. I was a bit nervous about Tozer coming on because he's not been playing a lot, but
well, didn't he? I think he was probably carrying an injury, and probably like that's what I thought, that he maybe wanted to play him 60, 70 minutes. I mean, I would have got him off a little earlier, but yeah.
He did go off injured, didn't he? The other day. Well, he did well, made a good clearance. Tozer almost scored as well. I don't know if you guys saw that on Sally.
Yeah,
I thought that he did relatively well. I thought there were a couple of clearances that were not as perfect as, but he was able to get head on ball when needed to get head on ball. He actually had one ground duel he won, which I can't recall a ground duel that he won other than that this season. Not really the strength, but to me he was solid. There wasn't a weakness on the team. I didn't say Cannon as much as I normally do. Like Cannon's bully ball through the middle wasn't really there. But that's because we're coming through the wings and building across the middle today, it seemed, more than anything else. I'll just say Kim made a comment, and I'll just comment on this, is the rumor around is that Rob and Ryan expect automatic, nothing less. Humphrey suggested as much.
Yes, he did.
So that's and I think that was the first time, and they identified it, or Tim did during the interview, that was the first time that was it Rob Ryan Red that did it, or was it?
No, Fid. Fearless in Devotion.
It was Fid, yeah. And I think it was Tim that flagged and said that was the first time that we've heard that that's the expectation from the ownership.
Yes.
If we go into the playoffs, we are playing with fire, big time.
Well, you look at who's in there now. 5 wins in a row, and we saw them in December. Walsall's climbed from nowhere, to assert themselves in 6th. They're still. 9 points out here with 11 games, not outside the realm of possibilities with how the teams have been playing above them. But Walsall's on a run. You don't want anything to do with them.
They were solid when we played them. Although one of the goals was offside, but they were solid. They looked like,
and we were sick, we think.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But he's still. I don't want to touch that at all.
There's a team that really doesn't scare me. Sorry, go ahead. I know you said
didn't Walsall beat Man, but there's obviously beat Wrexham, didn't they?
I think that they did, because we were they won at home right after they beat us. Well, not right after, but just a couple of weeks ago. They've been into it for a while. I'm trying to look at when was their last loss. They had a red card and lost to Newport County on February 10th. But they are.
That is a lot of green, man.
There's a lot of green. They lost to Stockport January 13th. But really, since even before us, with the win over Crewe, they beat Crewe, came back, beat us, thumped the hell out of Grimsby. Then they lost to Stockport, a couple of draws and a loss, and then just tearing on fire. They were undefeated in their last 6, with 5 of those being wins. So
and look at Barrow. I mean, Barrow's really they had that purple patch, and now it's just not great. So you just never know.
And for me, it's
I can't remember if it was the other night that was it Sheldon or yourself, Sean, that mentioned it would be good to see Fletcher come on as an impact player.
That was me. That's always what I've been saying, is Palmer to start, wear everybody down, Fletcher come in, that extra little class. I don't think that we saw that necessarily today as much. He may have lost some Wi-Fi there. I don't know, Josh Sheldon. You can tell me I'm wrong. I was hoping for a little bit more from the Marriott Fletcher combination when they got going.
I thought he should have had them on way earlier. There's no reason for them to be on 60 minutes. Give him a little bit of time. Marriott, to me, he's got all the energy. You know what I mean? I would have had Mullen off at 60 minutes. I would have put him on and give him some time up there. But that's me.
Marriott to me has looked impressive with the small amount of times that he's come on. He has been pretty quick compared to the rest of our team, even if his old team called him slow. He is chasing everything down. He's getting into good positions. He did miss that shot today, but it was basically his first touch at the end of the match. And I did make a comment, which was that I think Parky is making him look worse because people are looking at his stats because he hasn't scored a goal yet and comparing, okay, he's had 90 minutes on the pitch or whatever. That's fine. But then he's only had 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He hasn't had a decent amount of time. So today was the perfect opportunity to take the forward team off, or at least one of them, put Marriott on and give him a block of 30 minutes to try and get his goal and get him off his zero.
Yeah, especially today. This was the game.
Josh, that's exactly stole my thoughts on that one. That's exactly, or echoed my thoughts. That's exactly what I was thinking. What about? I'm trying to think. I'm so focused now on the game tomorrow because I'm all excited about there's an opportunity for Wrexham to win some hardware here with the women, and so I'm focusing on that one. And we're up 4. Took this one 4-0 down, and kind of walked away with it early. No surprises except for the performance.
Which is obvious. It's a stellar. It's a 10 out of 10 first half performance. 10 out of 10 first half performance. Absolutely.
Yeah, Max Cloworth for me was absolutely brilliant at the back. And did you? I don't know if you picked up on it on the live stream, but in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, Fletcher did a little back heel to him when he was, because obviously Accrington gone down to 10 men, so Wrexham I think had switched to 4 at the back because they could put that extra player higher up, which was obviously in this instance Max. Fletcher back heeled the ball to him, played a 1-2, and then he did the exact same thing, and it was just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, I did notice that. We did notice, or I said that Max had been moved up far more frequently this game than I recall him doing in the past, because he was up there on the very first Mullen goal. He was the one who was taking on those in the 18-yard box before he laid it back to Barnett for the cross that ultimately was headed in. So was thoroughly impressed with basically everybody's performance. Except for McLean in the yellow, and I think we've all been consistent with that, and the whoopsie. And the subs came in probably either too late to get their legs under them, or they were, mostly ineffective, and the whole team kind of was in the second half. I've got Leroy. I'm still got you sitting in the chat and on a gray screen. I'm going to just try to join you to see if you want to say hello again.
And I can jump off just before you do that, but it's good to see everybody.
So I'll bump you, Josh. Thanks so much for joining in. Leroy is sitting there. We'll see if he's
great to catch up with you, Josh. Take care.
Good to see you.
Sheldon signed out, which could mean it's just you and me, Baz, going to talk about this as we wind this down here in the 11th hour. If anybody else wants to join, just a reminder, while Baz is coming in, we've got the link down below. Last 10 minutes or so before we kind of wrap things up, 10:15. Link is down below on the YouTube channel, and it's also on Twitter in the comment under the stream that's running at the Red Horde, so you should be able to pull that one up.
Okay.
I never caught, actually, Baz, if you told me, I missed it. And Deandra says join, it's fun. And Deandra, thank you so much. If you missed it, Baz, we had 2 people join, Deandra being one of them from Aruba and Hugh from Wrexham, and so we've gone, as we do all over the place. We've got the US, Canada, Aruba, and Wrexham all picked out in this one.
Well, today, before, because we knew that, because I was in Wrexham yesterday, I knew we were going to struggle to get parking, so we went down a little bit earlier, dropped my sister's birthday presents off, and then because she's getting a bit older tomorrow, I don't know, third birthday anyway. So we got there nice and early, and we went to the miners' rescue station. We had Nia was helping facilitate with the dragon chat down there, which for those that don't know, anyone visiting Wrexham, just a short walk from the racecourse down Maesgwyn Road towards the hospital. It's directly opposite the turf. Before the games, they now have a dedicated dragon chat room where it's a chance to go down and discuss. It's been quite helpful. People who it helps people that want to just maybe they've got a little bit of anxiety or some mental health issues, and it just frees up. It's a safe space to go and open up and amongst friends, and then there's a spell where they'll talk sort of personal stuff and how things have been going in that week. And then I've done a video recently which showed the official launch of the room. I think it was for the Bradford game. So there's a link on the DASLE Publishing YouTube channel there to the video that shows the room and tells you where it is and everything. But yeah, we went down there. We had a spot of brunch, and we were talking to a couple that had come over from Colorado. They based themselves in Manchester. They travelled around, but it's not the first time they've been to Wrexham as well. But it turns out the lady who was hosting them lives in a village called Roestouthlin, just outside Wrexham. She had been on holiday 40 years ago, right, to an island in Greece, and met this lady's mum. The mum had sadly passed away. And they kept in touch with the daughter. Who, obviously, the husband had his Wrexham gear. He's got Welsh relatives, and we also bumped into last night a couple from Australia in Adelaide. They'd come over and they were travelling around. It's unbelievable. You just wouldn't have seen it a few years ago. But there's people from all over the place.
And coming out in spring and summer, fall, it almost seems like the wintertime, the international fans sort of died out a little bit as far as the travel over. But now that the season is turning into spring, things may be getting a little better. I don't know if you saw this, Baz, or if you can read on your phone if you're holding it, but I want to read Starkey's comment out to you. It says, Max equals amazing and growing. EOC equals an anchor at center half. Now Parky equals definitely not out. And Baz, a legend with some fierce moves on the dance floor.
Referring to the Oasis, that was probably Neil. And just for Starkey, if you're still listening, Neil played a bit of a set in the turf last night for the St. David's Day celebrate. It's one of the best nights I've had in there. It really was good. So I've recorded some of Neil, who the guy who sadly lost his brother recently and did the walk up to Old Trafford. He's telling me he's raised £7,500 for a UK-based mental health charity called Mind. I believe that his link for Just Giving site's still up, but absolutely outstanding efforts. I think there was an announcement made on the Fearless and Devotion after on the back of the Humphrey Care thing the other night. But
yeah, so I don't know. I haven't heard from Matt if he's going to be able to join us or not. Carl said that he may be able to join us as well, and I know everybody's scrambling around to get it. I don't know whether the links threw some people off, so I'll have to make sure that I double up and triple check those before I send everything out.
I think what it might be, Sean. I think with the platform, I think you can only invite people 24 hours before. I think after 20, if it's longer than 24 hours before, maybe
not. So then that's on me just to make sure I get going. And damn work keeps interfering with my Wrexham.
It's funny how that gets in the way, isn't it?
Stupid life and all of its needs. As I'm sitting there getting I can hear that the kids are acting up and doing their thing in the front room, and I probably should get going and helping and assist. So we'll wrap this up in the next 5 to 10 or whatever. For those that are there that want to join in with the last little shout out and hurrah without hearing Baz and I just sort of talk about what's to come and all that sort of stuff, by all means, click on the link. I did see somebody pull in and pull out. So the link on X at the Red Horde, below wherever this is streaming, on YouTube in the description down below, you can hit that and join. I'm trying to. I didn't expect that. This is exactly the game as far as the medicine that I've said now for 2 or 3 games. Our performances are asking for somebody to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and take control of it. And as much as Mullen 3 goals and an assist and stellar, and certainly was there to say, I'll be that guy. I really think that this was where the entire team stepped up and said, enough is enough. And that's what it felt like to me. Is that sort of the sense that was going on in the stadium and what people were talking about?
So there's a real buzz around the ground today. I mean, whether the free scarves, the free merch. I've been watching Wrexham now, Christ, 30 odd years. Was that 1990? Yeah, about 30 years. So I don't ever remember getting much other than a free little flag to wave or something like that. But this. And I was actually talking to one of the ladies from the female Dragon Chat group who she said she was actually going to buy one for about $10 the other week, and she's so glad she didn't now. She got one for free.
Yeah, that's
luckily
awesome.
we've got the 4 season tickets, so we've got 4 free scarves. One of them's wrapped it around his eyes and fallen asleep in the back of the car. I'll spare him his blushes. I won't put him on camera, but
it made for an impressive display. You were obviously there, but on TV before the match started, they had like a wide shot of all 4 and everybody holding it up, and the crowd was getting into it. And whether that was the jump that fired everybody up, whether that was the starting 11 saying, this is my chance to stop the bleeding and set this thing up going forward. I mean, they still have work to do. This is 3 points. It's not 25, 27, 28, whatever we think we need, 22. Some people think is all that we need. So whatever that number you've got, we still have work to do. But my word, the completely different take on where we were from this one and where we were. Pick a game recently, Bradford City, Walsall, if you want to go all the way back, the FGR game. There have been some performances that this.
Do you know what the secret sauce? The secret sauce tonight. I'm going to get absolutely slated when this hits the social media tonight, but I was in the military in the Air Force, right, for 13 years, and I signed an oath of allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and her heirs and successors. So, hand on heart, I've served my country with pride. However, the Welsh nationalists, we've been downtrodden by the English since the 1200s when Edward I built his castles in our country. The old Britons, we got taken over by the English, the Anglo-Saxons, and then Edward I started knocking up castles all around, particularly North Wales and the coast, as a way of passing down to his hereditary peers. And there's a lot of disdain towards royal family. So I think yesterday that visit from the future King of England, it went down not too well with a lot of people I was talking to yesterday. So
enough to stoke the fires.
What fired up the voices and the James McLean anthems today.
Well, maybe we just have to tell Will he's going to have to come every weekend. If this is going to be the output, the sauce that stirs it. So Morecambe away before we're back at home for 2 the following week, Tuesday and Saturday. I'm going to update the graphic and send that one out there because there's going to be changes to that graphic. The Don's sort of fallen off, but not fallen out. Walsall's is dragging themselves back into the equation, but we are largely sitting at 3rd. But the people we're chasing have games in hand, and Mansfield has that one on Tuesday. So I think it's just carry on, boys, is the message now that we've seen what we want to see. Is that as simple as that?
I think everyone just wants Marriott to score now, and then just once he breaks his duck, I'm convinced. But I'm so happy. I made a 3-0 prediction today, so I felt we were overdue. Since Barrow 4-1 was it on New Year's Day?
Yeah,
it's been a bit of a drought. A couple of 1-0s, which you'll take them. I'll happily take another 11 1-0s. But for me, Mullen looked like he was back at his best after. Lots of questions about his state of fitness and performances. He stayed up, he contested balls. He only went down once, and the ref didn't even entertain that. But no, it was a solid team performance. And again, Ollie Palmer, he's not really been in the front of my thoughts of late, but that I'm so glad to see that partnership really working well today. And then for Stephen Fletcher to come on for that last 20 minutes, totally taking Josh's point. I think Fletcher could have come on maybe 60, 65 minutes, a bit earlier than he did. He's just next level, you know, and obviously by that point the game was dead and buried. They were a man down, and it was just great to watch. And the atmosphere, I've had better atmospheres in the racecourse, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you're 4-0
Right
up
up
at
there.
half time, I only had one beer today. That's pretty
Oh,
poor
that's
effort.
weak.
But
Yeah, that is poor effort.
that is poor. So I'm gonna have to go home,
especially when you get
Senny
4 free scarves and you can't put the money back into the club and the beer. You'll have to make up for
Yeah.
that one next time you go in.
I did get one in just before kick-off because we were in the ground about half an hour before today. Had a quick catch up with my new Patagonian friends. So I'll pop a link on Twitter later, either Baz Thomas 2001 or DASLE Publishing, and I'll put a link to the Patagonian site on Twitter. I think they telling me last night they got about 2,000 members. So it's a big population of Wrexham fans in the South Atlantic. Just waiting to get over.
I can hear the little one running out of gas, and I can hear that we're getting ready because we've got things to do with the eldest. He's got a class coming up, so I'm going to have to jump off here. And so I'll start off by saying my apologies to Matt and to you, Baz, and to Josh for not getting the link out. We'll correct that. That's on me. And we'll fix that up as a problem. To everybody who was able to find their way here, and especially to Deandra and Hugh who joined in and had their chat. Ooh, it's entertaining out there in the background. Wrexham finds a way to get back to old times. A 4-0 win, comfortable, and everybody looked good. There wasn't a person on the lineup that you can really say had an off game. Still not necessarily perfect. It's the question going forward for Mr. McLean is, can he get through 3 more or 2 more without picking up a yellow card to avoid the automatic suspension, which we would love to avoid going forward. We've got just on my channel, I'll come back to Baz just to wrap up as to what he's got going on. The women tomorrow, the women's the Welsh Cup, the semifinal against TNS that they're playing in a neutral site is going tomorrow. That's on iFollow. We'll have the watch party as well for that. And then keep an eye on the scoreboard on Tuesday for the Mansfield match against the Dons. And then we'll be back for the overall thing on Saturday. The end of the day, there was lots of locker room stuff, I'm sure, given the $5 off. You guys all got scarves out of it as Rob and Ryan flash a little bit to Andy Holt with all of his lip, remembering that he took £69,000 from Wrexham fans and his own fans by increasing by £5. He says, just to be clear, that was for policing costs. Those policing costs, he admitted, costing him £12,000. So that's for you, Mr. Holt. Thank you for coming out. I hope we don't see you again. Other than that, Baz, I'll give you the final words as far as where you're at, and then we'll wrap this up.
Well, thanks again. You know, the fan base seems to be growing. It's becoming more popular every week, and some great comments. Everyone appreciates you hosting, Sean. It's a great space to come and chat all things Wrexham amongst friends. Yeah, I mean, I was at the Wrexham Legends event last Sunday, so it's taken me absolutely forever to go through all the subtitling and captions. But I've got a video I'm going to put together, a bit of footage from today, and also a separate video I'll put up for last night at the Turf for St. David's Day. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So, you know, support the Red Horde. Go on YouTube, hit subscribe, share it amongst your friends, go on Twitter, send the links. I'll also put a link tree on Twitter later for anyone that wants to pop on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter accounts, and just support the guys. You know, it takes a lot of time, energy, effort, and we do it because we're really, really passionate about Wrexham, and we want to create that forum where people can come and really, really just enjoy themselves. And you know, for the ones who haven't got the luxury of being able to get to the racecourse week in, week out, hopefully I can just bring that little bit of an edge and give you a bit of the atmosphere, same as Matt, who's local, and Welsh Beast when we managed to get him on. I know a few things clash with work, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll get him on sometime soon. So I've also spoken to an ex-Wrexham player who had the fortune of playing in the early 80s, mid 80s against Roma. So I'm going to try and tie something up with him, and we'll put that out soon. So
Awesome.
thanks again, Sean. I'll let you get back to the kids. Mine's fast asleep in the car.
I'm envious. So yeah, and go around and subscribe. DASLE Publishing, Racecourse Ramble, Local Pundit, Two Beards, Wrexham, the Aussies, Welsh Beast. Show them the love. Get them out there. Thanks so much for this one. We'll be back tomorrow for the women, early in the morning for me, and then we'll be back next Saturday. Away again, Morecambe, the Shrimps, yeah, kudos. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.
Mendy, Ollie, and Mullin link up.